Hi David, my name's Daphne. I'm one of the essay practice here at IELTSpodcast.com. Thank you so much for purchasing the 9 essay pack. Really good to have you with us to practice preparing for your exam. And my apologies for the delay in getting this back to you. There's been obviously Christmas celebrations here, so things have got a bit behind, but my apologies. So here we go, your first title. Some people believe employees should stay in the same job the rest of their lives. Others think they should switch at least once. To what extent do you agree or disagree? And giving reasons. This looks like a really nice essay. Some of your writing is a little bit formal. Obviously, IELTS has to be formal, but some of this is coming across as too formal. So let me try and explain what I mean. In this era of urbanisation and post-industrial revolution, it is deemed that stability and income are of utmost importance in society. Lovely, great starting sentence. Really like this passive coming into the first line here. Henceforth, leading to individuals possessing predetermined lives with mediocre jobs, yet not a will to alter their course in life. That sentence doesn't really make sense for me. So rather than henceforth, which we don't really use, that's rather outdated, and then individual possessing predetermined lives with mediocre jobs, yet not a will to alter them. So you're going back to this idea of stability and income. You could say, you could either carry on this sentence with which has led. So let's just try that, which has led to many individuals becoming unambitious in their career choices. We could go with that. I don't want to go make it too long, otherwise that whole first sentence is too long. But we could do that. Okay. There's no evidence from this question that people don't want to alter. Yeah. Be careful sort of making an assumption here from this. I think you need to keep this pretty clear, this introduction. So hence, critics have sparked a heated debate as to whether employees should remain in the same job throughout their entire lives, or if they should try another career at least once. Okay. You could have hence is okay. I would go a heated debate has been sparked over. Rather than critics have sparked a debate, I would go a heated debate has been. Another passive in there would be lovely. As to whether employees should remain the same job, or they should try another career at least. Or yeah, I mean, you could have that whole line. It's getting a bit long, or you could have or look for change. Just quite simply. I mean, your essay is very long. I would strongly advise you not to go above 380, even if you can do that in time. Okay, over 400 is just too much. You won't get any more marks. You risk losing marks if you go too long. I'm an advocate of the stand that employers should switch to. Okay. Yes, this is a very long way of giving your opinion. Do you see what I mean? I feel every time you're going the long way round, you don't need to do that. So you could have it in relation to this. I'm an advocate of the stand. You see, we wouldn't really talk like that. Just I believe employees should switch jobs. Now, I wouldn't use that phrase. Okay, because that is the same as up here in that. So I would definitely avoid that. So I should say I would look or gain as much experience. Yeah, if that sort of phrase is absolutely fine. Okay, and then this essay will illustrate. That's lovely. Okay, so just don't make that intro too complicated. Don't look too complicated. Look for clarity, not complication. Now here you've got 5 paragraphs. Personally, we would advocate for 4. I think it's clearer. I think it keeps the essay in a nice length as well. But also what I want to say here is that when you've got on the other hand there, you need to balance that with on the one hand. Okay, so those must balance those linking words or choose something else. So The predominant basis of career switches would be that an individual is presented with the opportunity to search for a job that coincides with their interests. Yes, perfect. This, don't use thus like that. We would, again, too formal. But what you could put is this would allow. So these nice little modal verbs here, this would allow them to hone their innate abilities. Yeah, I mean, you've kind of said that in the line above, but hone their innate abilities. Let's add something else they could do. Build a contact network and learn further skills, okay, or further relevant skills. So I like your idea of saying what they could do, but let's add to that 3 examples. And then don't go take, for example, doctors, because that's suddenly too informal. So here, for example, Asian households place the career of medical professional well above other jobs, merely due to its status. Nevertheless, this career choice, rather than repeating jobs, may not be appropriate for everyone, and it's evident many medical students drop out due to the lack of interest or high pressure. And you don't need that, but you could have that as a thing. That is really nice. Here, I would just have additionally, yeah, and keep it in one paragraph, but that's my personal choice. It doesn't really matter. I don't think you need another salient, though relatable ground for this argument is simply because you are well over the word count. If you had the luxury of 1,000 words, you could do that, but I don't think you have. So additionally, so career moves may be undertaken not only for interest, but for, okay? So you've got the not only but, which is quite a nice structure in there as well. But for talent, okay? So incontrovertible that every individual, you don't need to put each and. You can, but kind of you don't need to. That every individual possesses their own unique gifts and abilities, hence allowing them. Now, individual, it actually wouldn't be one, it would actually be them, because individual, you're talking about lots of individuals to perform well. We wouldn't say extravagantly well. What the collocation would be extremely well, but for this kind of essay talking about careers, I would just go successfully. So I wouldn't use well. I just go perform successfully in certain tasks, while only providing below average results in other fields. Okay. For instance, it's substantially evident. Now we wouldn't say substantially evident. You can have substantially clear or clearly evident. You can't have substantially evident. They don't kind of match. So it's clearly evident that biology majors have tendency to study medicine due to their, yes, tendency, or I mean, I go relevant skill set to study medicine due to their extensive cognitive understanding towards the subject. Yeah, just understanding of the subject. Good, nice argument there. On the other hand, it's indifferable. Yes. Now, okay. You could have, I'm just looking here, you can see here different synonyms here. Because again, this is one of these words that is just not really used anymore. But you could say, yeah, undeniable. Okay. That remaining in one job usually allows, and here I would suggest you have these quite useful adverbs, which just are a bit more academic, just make it a bit more tentative, allow you to stand back a bit from the writing. Usually allows one to make a living consistently and with security while giving, rather than meanwhile. That's different. You don't want that. You just want while giving. You don't need to repeat one. A substantially higher chance of moving up the ladder. Good. This is because repetition and consistency shape. So it's 2 things. Shape the skill of an employee, whereas dedication shows the higher ranked officials. Now it shows them. Now you don't need that. I would change this verb here. I would go illustrates, or demonstrates would be better. or illustrates, and then illustrates, so it had to be 2. The capacity means to excel in a higher position. Okay, you don't need that. For example, a vast majority of individuals who work in banks now, once you have to go to the present perfect here. You've got this time indicator for decades, and with this time indicator, which is unfinished time, usually we need the present perfect. So that would be present perfect there. Take up the role of the branch managers or supervisors. Yeah, move that adverb eventually. Move that before your verb there. Okay, nice paragraph. Yeah, but you see what I mean about the 5-paragraph structure here, because these 2 paragraphs, I know this is the favour of your argument, but it's quite unbalanced. I prefer to have a little bit more maybe on this one, just so it's a little bit more balanced in terms of the space you're using, the word count. To conclude, although it is unequivocally evident that individuals should pursue various careers, okay, I mean, that's your opinion. So I wouldn't necessarily go that. I'd go, it's frequently argued that, or frequently suggested that. I'm not vehemently opposed to the idea of remaining in a single career. Okay. Ergo, it's imperative that people weigh both stands and figure out best. I don't think you need that. Be careful with this kind of essay. They're asking for your opinion. So give your opinion. Even if you don't really believe it, make an opinion and stick with it. So this is sort of, yes, really strong opinion, and then, okay, well, never mind, sort of thing. So that line weakens your conclusion. Otherwise, really nice essay. Lots of great work in there. Really, really impressive start. So well done. Here, so we've got a chart about bird flu. So you've got a dynamic graph. So we're looking at changes over time. You've got 10-year period here, and then the number of casualties. Okay, not that much happening. So we'll try and fill the word count, haven't we? Bar graph depicts the number of deaths due to bird flu worldwide. Number of casualties illustrated by the y-axis. Okay, based on the year. Yes, you could say, I mean, in hundreds or thousands. Yeah, based on the year. Okay, the number of casualties started off a low of slightly above 120,000. So how do you mean based on the year? So you could have initially or at the start of the period. Yeah, so you could start with that. So you could have at the start of the given period, the number of casualties started off low, above 120, and continued at this level throughout. Okay, or you just put at the start it was this. You move that to there. Following this, the number of deaths climbed gradually by about 10,000, reaching more than 130. Whereas, yeah, 140. Okay. Continuous increment. I wouldn't use furthermore. You could have thereafter. There was a continuous increment leading to approximately 150. Subsequently, the number surged. Yeah. Okay. So that is absolutely fine. And you've told me what you can see, and in beautiful English, which is lovely. What we need to do is make it more interesting, because you're kind of listing information. The danger is with this task 1 that we just say what we can see, but what we want to do is make comparisons. If you look at the what it asks you to do, selecting the main features, okay, make comparisons where relevant. So you want to tell me that the number of deaths in these 4 years, in the final 4 years, were X times higher than the number of deaths in these 2 years. Yeah? And that is really, really important. So these levels of death stayed the same for 4 years, whereas that level only stayed for 2 years. Yeah? You want to say here that this was X times higher than that. So it's this idea of making comparisons that is really, really important. Okay, so you want, was it while, whereas, in contrast, and then you want all these comparative structures, and then the superlatives, the highest number. and lowest number, which you've got, but really focus on those first rather than focusing on telling me what the picture says. Okay, but really, really good work, David, and thank you.